That was a good win. Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in today's video we are talking about the Buccaneers 27-21 win over the Philadelphia Eagles, and oh boy was it a doozy. There's a lot to talk about, a whole heck of a lot of good happened in this game, a lot of improvement, a lot of consistency. We're going to be talking about it all in today's video, so let's get right started. The first thing that I want to talk about was the very first play of the game, which was a 75-yard bomb to Desean Jackson. I thought that was a phenomenal play, great call by Todd Monken. I thought that Ryan Fitzpatrick executed it perfectly. He can still hit on that deep ball, so that was very encouraging to see. And Desean Jackson right away was getting right into this revenge game that he was having against his former team, so that was very encouraging to see. So all in all, that was a wonderful tone setter for the rest of this game. I also like how the Buccaneers' just overall pass game looked. Fitzpatrick had another phenomenal game with 4 passing touchdowns, over at least 300 yards, and he picked apart what is, a lot of people have said, is this the greatest defense in the NFL right now. You know, Fitzpatrick just continued to look electric. He was just making plays left and right, really using the weapons again to his, you know, the best way they're being able to use. Guys like O.J. Howard, who had a really long touchdown grab. Chris Godwin got in the end zone again. Mike Evans was having really nice plays along with Desean Jackson, who I just mentioned. You know, it was really good offensive performance all around again, and I'm definitely going to be making a video about if the Buccaneers have a quarterback controversy or whatnot. I will say this, Todd Monken definitely likes to run an all-passing type offense, because we didn't run the ball a whole lot in this game. When we did, it wasn't exactly effective. So the run game, I guess you could say, was a little bit of a downside to this game. But I will say the Eagles have one of the best run defenses in the league still, so I didn't really expect a whole lot. However, you know, it was still something to keep an eye on. They didn't really get a whole lot done in the ground game. Ronald Jones was inactive for this game as well, which I'll be making a whole different video about that topic altogether. But again, it was a little bit disappointing to see the run game not really working that well. And again, you know, like I said, I cannot sing the praises of Ryan Fitzpatrick enough, because, you know, the deep balls were not there a whole lot in this game. I mean, like, they were, don't get me wrong, they were. But the thing I like the most about Ryan Fitzpatrick's game for this one was his short passing and his intermediate passing, because that just, he not only did he show that he can have the deep ball from last game, but he also showed in this game that he can do pretty much everything. He can pass at every level relatively well. He was accurate. He got the ball out of his hands very quickly. The one interception that he did throw, I don't believe it was his fault, because O.J. Howard had it. It got popped right out of O.J. Howard's hands, and it fell right into the arms of an Eagle defender. So I don't think that interception was his fault under any circumstances. So really, if you take that one interception away, this was another just hyper-efficient game for Ryan Fitzpatrick against arguably what, you know, these past 2 games, Fitzpatrick's been playing against what is supposed to be these very tough defenses, and he's just looked phenomenal. He's looked really good. He's looked really sharp, really composed. Him and Todd Monken are using these weapons exactly how they need to be used. You know, and it's just phenomenal, because they can just beat guys deep. Desean Jackson can beat guys deep. Mike Evans can beat guys deep, and if he can't beat them deep, he just uses his size. You know, these guys run very crisp routes. They have very good hands. I know Mike Evans had a drop and a fumble at one point, but just go with me on this. You know, we have such a phenomenal core of wide receivers. And I know that I was on the whole Trey Jackson bandwagon and whatnot for a while there. Still don't technically think we need him, but you know, I was on this trade Desean Jackson thing, but again, he's just shown so much for this team this year. You know, he's looked so good lately. He's connecting with Fitzpatrick on literally everything, especially the deep balls and whatnot. You know, I think just these guys are running such crisp routes. They're having such good hands. I think they might be one of the best receiving cores in the league. Like, no joke. This might be one of the best receiving cores in the league, you know, just for wide receivers, you know, and that's pretty darn exciting if you ask me. And then you take into the fact that guys like O.J. Howard, who just had this phenomenal catch and run. He outran some of the defenders. They had to catch up to him. He scored. I believe it was like an 80, 90-yard pass. It was a great play. Shout out to Chris Godwin, by the way, because he had a very crucial block on that play. He basically he was the main reason that O.J. Howard was able to score on that play. Chris Godwin is showing a lot of phenomenal things. You know, he's been able to get his catches in, get his touches in. He's scored twice now in 2 games. You know, just Godwin, Jackson, Howard, and Evans you know, those guys are phenomenal. They're just absolutely phenomenal. It does stink that guys like Adam Humphries and Cameron Bate seem to be getting a little bit phased out in this passing game with Ryan Fitzpatrick, but still, that just goes to show how valuable these weapons we already have are, and it's just been a wonderful thing to see. Another thing that I wanted to point out was the Bucs offensive line. Again, they looked really darn good in this game, considering they were going up against in my opinion, the best defensive line in the NFL right now. They looked really good. Fitzpatrick was getting pressured a little bit, but all in all, I think he got even sacked a couple of times, but all in all, they held their own very well. I will say Caleb Benenoch, however, had a rough game. You know, he was going against Fletcher Cox for the most part, so that is what it is. I'll give him a pass on that one. That was a wonderful learning experience, but this offensive line's really been looking sharp, especially Ryan Jensen, who had another kind of, come on, had another personal conduct penalty, or whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty today, but people are liking it. I'm okay with it, I guess. It is going to get to the point where it's like, okay, Ryan Jensen, you know, it's cool that you're very fired up for this team, but, you know, those can be drive killers, man. 15-yard penalty, that can be a drive killer, so I like it, but let's keep it to, like, maybe a minimum of one a game, please. Taking a look at the defensive side of the ball now, and stuff was pretty decent, okay. For JPP and for what he was able to do on a limited basis today, I thought he played pretty well. Nick Foles, he didn't look too comfortable in the pocket for a good chunk of the game. They were pushing that O-line back, which, again, the Eagles' offensive line is one of the better offensive lines in the league. I hope you keep that one in mind. But Jason Pierre-Paul looked good. Gerald McCoy had a sack this game, which I thought was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Carl Nassib, I thought, looked really good. I thought about doing a video about Carl Nassib. It's kind of too late now, but let me know what you guys think about me doing a possible Carl Nassib video, because he just looked really good in this game, especially later on in the second half. He was just trying to make plays. A little bit weird that Noah Spence, not a little bit weird, it's a little concerning that Noah Spence hasn't really been doing much in these past couple of games. Honestly, guys, I might have to make a video about that as well, because, you know, he might get traded, honestly. He might get traded. I have no idea. But the defensive line, I thought, looked pretty decent for the most part. There were a couple of injuries on the Eagles' offensive side of the ball. Darren Sproles wasn't there. Jay Ajayi, I don't believe, played in about half the game. He went out early with an injury. Jason Peters went out with an injury. So there were some offensive injuries there. But I thought the Bucs played an overall very solid defensive game. And then even on our side of the ball in the secondary and whatnot, I thought we played a productive game. You know, this was a very, very solid team game all around. This defense took huge strides from last week. You know, obviously they weren't playing a top 5 offense from last year, or a Hall of Fame quarterback, or a top 10 wide receiver, but still, I thought they made leaps and bounds and strides from this past game, only allowing 21 points, 14 of those points coming in the fourth quarter. You know, that was phenomenal. We held them to 7 points through 3 quarters. That's amazing. Keep on doing that, please. Chris Conte did go down with injury, which I thought was pretty unfortunate, but still, Jordan Whitehead came in. He was fast, he was electric, he was all over the field. Quan Alexander and Levante David just had a phenomenal time in the run game today. They were able to just stuff Corey Clement, Jay Ajayi. It didn't really matter who the running back was. They were able to get into the backfield and just either stop him at the line or stop him in the backfield, and it was a phenomenal thing to see. Carlton Davis looked really improved. I thought Marcus Williams did a pretty decent job when he was thrown into the game, and MJ Stewart looked very good as well. Those 3 cornerbacks, you know, hopefully Marcus Williams can get a little bit of time in the system, because once he starts learning things, I think he's going to be a pretty productive cornerback for this team. And then, you know, safety position, Justin Evans, Jordan Whitehead. I really hope that's the pair they go with moving forward, because that was phenomenal. I don't know how long Chris Conte's injury is going to be. I think they were saying it was a knee injury, so I have no idea how long it's going to be. I'll update you guys on however long that'll be whenever it's reported. I will make a video about it. But yeah, man, the young kids came in, showed up, and just played phenomenal, and it was a really fun thing to see. Also, I want to say, as much crap as I give him, Ryan Smith made a couple of clutch plays on special teams. Not as a cornerback, but on special teams, he made a couple of clutch plays. One play I specifically want to talk about was at the end, whenever I believe it was like 30 seconds left. The Eagles returner did not fair catch it. He was going to go for it. I was kind of worried because the Bucs, the formation they didn't have any gunners on the side. They had their gunners kept in to kind of prevent a blocked punt or anything like that. They were playing extremely safe. And Ryan Smith was still able to get down there and grab the returner right as soon as he got the ball, made a very clutch tackle, downed him pretty much at their 10-yard line. So that was awesome. You know, that was awesome to see. So shout out to Ryan Smith, I guess. And all in all, you know, just even after the game, you know, this team is so confident at this point. And what I want to see moving forward from this team is just keep on using the momentum, you know, keep on using the momentum, keep on using this consistency that you've had with the offense, keep on using, you know, even Chandler Catanzaro had a pretty decent game. He had one missed extra point, which honestly that could have been a really big deal if the Bucs defense hadn't have been very good. But, you know, I'll give him a pass. It's a missed extra point. It happens. There's little hiccups here and there. I'll give him a little bit of a pass on that one. A lot of you guys were saying in the comments of my last video that he should have made that extra point. That's all good. But all things considered, you know, I love how this team's looking right now. When you really break it down, okay, the Buccaneers in Week 1 defeated a team that was supposed to make it to the NFC Championship game last year, if not for a dumb decision, and were a lot of people's teams' favorite pick to win the Super Bowl last year and this year, and then they just beat the defending Super Bowl champions. And I know, oh, James, they didn't have their starting quarterback, and oh, James, they didn't have Alshon Jeffrey. We still defeated, we defeated the quarterback who won that Super Bowl for the Eagles, okay? And we beat one of the best defenses in the NFL. They are one of the best defenses in the NFL. I don't know why I used this, but we defeated one of the best defenses in the NFL. You know, we looked phenomenal. It was a wonderful, wonderful game. This team looks like a playoff team. I said that on Twitter, and I mean it. This team looks like a playoff team, and that's without their starting franchise quarterback. They look like a playoff team with their backup quarterback, you know? So I really think that this team has a chance to do some special things this year. This has been a phenomenal ride through these first couple of games. You know, they might even have they might even be the Eagles of this season, man, where they ride off the waves of their backup quarterback, you know, and their starting quarterback. Maybe I misquoted that. I don't think they're going to be the Eagles this year, but they definitely look like a playoff team, okay? I'm very excited to see what this team does against Pittsburgh and just set the tone for the rest of the season, because we just beat 2 playoff teams. We're one of 2 undefeated teams left in the NFC. The other team is the St. Louis Rams, who's a lot of people's favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. So I think it's time that people start paying attention to these Bucs, guys. What do you think? But again, let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comment section below. Let me know if you like this ensemble. I didn't rip it. I ripped it off Ryan Fitzpatrick. If you guys want to go see the original image of Ryan Fitzpatrick in this getup, I guess you should say, a link to that will be down in the description below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do hope you guys all enjoyed. Let me know what you're looking forward to in Week 3 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have an update on where I'm going to be during that game, by the way. But yeah, it was a phenomenal game. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun too. And as always, I will see you in the next video. But until then, and as always, a win is a win. Goodbye for now, and go Bucs!